So this morning, we're going to have a real discussion. I'm tired of hearing this. We keep thinking white people are better than us. And I'm not saying we're better than white people, but we keep continue to think that we are inferior. Why do you think that notion exists? Why do you believe that white people are better than your own people in a society that you are only 13% of the population, that you have been marginalized, disfranchised, and some of these words are just words to you, but you don't understand that your history plays a large role in where you and your family stands at today. But for some reason, Black people think that white people are better than them. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Hispanics think that as well. Asians think that as well. When I went over to China, when I went over to Korea, when I went over to Japan, do you understand that these people whiten themselves up more to blend in with white folk? Do you know Nigerians and also Jamaicans are large Black cultures that whiten up their skin so they can fit in, so it can be more accepted? Why is it that Black people believe that white people are better than them? You don't factor in racial disparities. You don't factor in discrimination. You don't factor in some of the policies, regulations, and guidelines that target melanated people. See, here's the thing. You guys hear the actual factual information that white people without degrees, certifications, and skills get jobs over educated Blacks. That is because of one thing and one thing only. It's called white privilege. It's called we are 70% of the population. I'm white and I say so, and I don't want no Negroes working for me. You don't look like me. I don't trust you. I believe that you are inferior. And guess what? Your own kind believes that you are inferior. See, this goes into the dating scene as well. There are white women that love Black men, and there's white men that love Black women. But here's the thing. When I hear Black men, when I hear Black women tell me, oh, well, I want a man that is like this and make this amount of money, there's really not that meaning in the Black population. The question is why? First and foremost, why are you in love with your slave master? And granted, not every white person is racist. But did you know that every white person may be in support of a system of oppression and white supremacy, either knowingly or unknowingly? See, being nonchalant or being somewhat uninformed, you could be part of oppression of other people. And that's what people don't understand. But see, when it comes to the dating scene, some people know it's just about love. No, it's not. A relationship and marriage is an institute of business. Because whatever you guys build together, who are you going to cater to? See, I remember when I was on the dating scene and I had Black women say, oh, you're different. Usually I date white men. Excuse me, sister? Why would you only date white men? Oh, because, Black men, they need to get their stuff together. Wait a minute. I can understand that, and you're absolutely correct. But what is the problem with our community? What is the problem with our social economics? What is the problem with us getting high paying jobs? And we have bachelor's degrees, master's degrees, we have certifications, we have licenses. What is the issue? You don't think we're being boxed out? You think because you was privileged enough that white society accepted you because you straightened your hair, because you went to a HBCU and they want to play on that? This is a problem that our community falls in. We believe that white people are better than us because we won't even date ourselves. We won't even marry ourselves. We won't even marry the man that looks like our father if he was in the home. We won't even marry the woman that looked like our mother if she was in the home. We believe that the other race is better. But see, this is something that has been implanted inside of our subconscious mind from our parents and their parents. And I know a lot of you understand that a lot of this information goes all the way back from the days of slavery, where they fit the light-skinned black against the dark-skinned black, the brown-skinned black against the light-skinned black. The darker you are, the worse you are. The lighter you are, the better you are. That is a problem that we have in our society. It's not so much the shades of brown, but it does directly have to do with the subconscious mind of black people thinking that we are inferior to another race. Do you know your history? Do you know that Africans never lived in caves, that they always constructed a place of living? Did you know that the Moors went over and conquered Spain? Did you know that Africans actually built Europe? Do you know that? Did you know when the Spanish and Portugal and British enslavers came over to America the first time, that most of them died off and they were cannibalists, eating each other because they could not survive? So that's why they took slaves, and that's why you always hear that slaves built America. We are the builders. We are the architects. They still believe that some alien group built the pyramids. Are you freaking kidding me? We are the ones who discovered how to use mathematics, because mathematics, ladies and gentlemen, we didn't create math. Math has always been. We are the ones who developed math. We are the ones who discovered math. We are the ones who discovered astrology. But for some reason, because we got a few people twerking out there, we got a few thugs and hoodlums and drug dealers and hustlers and pushers on the street, that we look at them and we say we are inferior to the white race. Then we also have good white people, good racist white people on the other side, and say, oh, you're different than the other ones. And some of you just nod your head like, well, you know, I had a really strong background and I had my parents in the home. Oh, that must be a lot different for you, Shaniqua. That must be really, really great, Daryl, that you had both family members inside the home. Because we understand that during slavery times, slave masters and enslavers went out of their way to divide the black family. Then the drug epidemic of the 70s and 80s, they went out of their way to first box black men out of the job industries on all sectors, and then push drugs in as self-medication, which led a lot of black men from leaving their homes to have the mother, sons, and daughters to fend for themselves. And we wonder why the black family is so discombobulated, why the black family is so estranged from one another. This is the problem that we have in the black community. We hate ourselves, and then we hate others that look like us, and then we believe, according to our white counterparts, that we are inferior to the dominant society. See, they love using that term. We're the dominant society, and you are minorities. If they don't call you the N-word, they'll call you a minority because they understand what words mean. Dominant means that I dominate over you. And see, we use it in a sense of population. But then when you call yourself a minority, what is the root word of minority? It's minor. Oh, you're minor to me. You're less than me. Because I remember you're only like 3/5 of a person. You're not even a real person. You're like a walking ape. So you are inferior. This is a problem that we have in our community. Now, there's other things that play in our community, but here's the thing. We understand those things. We understand racism. We understand white supremacy. But some of us are not waking up, even in the day and time like we have today. You've seen two sides of two spectrums, two different systems. You have melanated people peacefully protesting with their hands up, getting batoned, getting tased, getting pepper sprayed, getting incarcerated. And then you see white domestic terrorists, you see white supremacists storm the U.S. Capitol, not the Georgia Capitol, not the Alabama state capitol, not the California state capitol, but the U.S. state capitol. And I said this before. If you looked at any of my previous videos, I talked about how these white supremacists got helped in by the U.S. Capitol Police. And you saw that video where the brother, one black police officer, he said he got called nigga 15 times. He even counted. He like, man, 1, 2, 3. As he was retreating down the halls of the U.S. Capitol. But we was like to fight over very menial things. See, we don't believe in unification. We don't believe in unity, joining forces. We don't believe in that. You know why? Well, who did you vote for? Well, I didn't vote. Why didn't you vote? Why didn't you vote for Kamala Harris and Joe Biden? Well, if you looked at their history, well, no, we're not talking about their history. We're talking about right now because anything is better than Donald Trump because Donald Trump is a racist. Oh, okay. Well, if he's a racist, then why not Joe Biden? Well, we understand the 1994 crime bill where that helped incarcerate over 100,000 black men that took them from their families. But you know, in the system of white supremacy, those guys wasn't going to be in the home anyway. They were going to run away from their house anyway. Oh, so you projecting that they wasn't going to even be in the home anyway. They're going to be strung out on drugs and being drug dealers. Yeah. But what about the 1986 anti-crime bill that took another 50,000 men outside their home? Yeah. But they changed from that. Even though Joe Biden has been in politics for over 40-something years, almost 50 years, he has done nothing for black people, even when he was under Obama. But they did a lot of things for other groups. But damn, black people, the only thing you want is Joe Biden out of, the only thing you want is Donald Trump out of the office. Okay, now that he's out of the office, what has changed? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Now, Sheila Jackson Lee on HR 40 is proposing cash payments. Let's see how far that goes under Joe Biden. The problem is we don't understand systematic oppression. We think that these things are isolated events. We believe that these things are isolated events, and they're not. And they are not. That is the problem that we have in our society when it comes to black people. First and foremost, we would like to divide rather than unite. Because we don't have a sense of self. We don't have a sense of history. None of us read anymore. And then our men and women, when we have achieved certain statuses in white America, corporate America, we start to look on down on the men and women. Oh, nah, I'm not dating no Shaniqua. I'm not dating no Keisha. I'm not dating none of that. They gotta get their shit together. Nah, I ain't dating no Tyrone. I ain't dating no Daryl because they don't have a bachelor's degree. They don't have a master's degree. They don't have a certification in IT. They don't make six figures. They don't make high five figures. So we sell ourselves out to ourselves. We all understand that majority of melanated people in this country, foundational Black Americans, come from an environment that was systematically built for us to fail. They use the same strategy that Hitler used with the Jews. It's called putting people in small, tight, confined places on top of each other, beneath each other, beside each other, and then limit their resources, limit their opportunities, and then watch them self-destruct. See, here's the thing. If we knew our history, if we knew other people's history, we will understand what we're going through. See, people like Dr. Claude Anderson, he's been talking about this for damn near 30, 40 years, about powernomics. See, back when the civil rights movement, the 60s and 70s, Black people were so tuned in on how we should integrate with white America than to segregate with white America. Did you know when we started to integrate with white people, we started doing worse economically? Now we go back to the summer of 1919 called the Red Summer. I want you to look at the prominent Black Wall Streets, other than Tulsa. There was a lot more than Tulsa, of all the Black people in their own economic environment, living in homes, owning their own businesses, employing other Black people. Everybody in those particular cities of those Black Wall Streets was doing well. Yes, we have always had help of being destroyed by the dominant society, by white supremacists. We've always had help. Some of you may think, oh, because I pulled myself up by my bootstraps, then I know Pookie can. No, Pookie can't. That's the problem. Not every Black person is going to make it, because every Black person, once we make it, we don't go back and pull somebody else. You heard of the crab mentality, crabs in a barrel? When one crab tries to climb out, the other crabs pull him back down. I call that the hood. I call it the ghetto. This is a problem in our community. This is the problem in our community, ladies and gentlemen. But we don't want to face the facts. We would like to blame everything. We would like to blame everything on each other versus the main purpose of why we are where we're at. Here's another thing. This right here. I just want to show partial of this. Let me break it down to you. African Americans score lower than European Americans on vocabulary. African Americans score lower than European Americans on vocabulary, reading, and math tests. This is coming from Brookings.edu, as well as on tests that claim to measure scholastic aptitude and intelligence. They say we score lower across the entire board: vocabulary, reading, math, science. Why is that? They said here, even IQ scores clearly respond to changes in the environment. IQ scores, for example, have risen dramatically throughout the world since 1930s. The average black did about as well as the Stanford in 1978 as the average white did in 1932. They're saying we're 52 years behind the IQ test, 52 years behind the intelligence test, 52 years behind being intelligent. Then they go on and say about how they're going to explain the gap in education. Traditionally, explanations for black-white test score groups have not stood up well to the test of time, because during the 1960s, most liberals blamed the gap on some combination of black poverty, racial segregation, and inadequate funding of black schools. See, when they're talking about black segregation, is this not talking about segregation? When they're talking about black racial segregation, they're talking about the lack of resources and opportunities that they have devised and planned for us not to succeed. But yeah, keep believing white zaddy, your Karens, your Brads, your Susans to be better than you are, because you keep thinking that you keep thinking that your own people are inferior, but you don't understand our history, you don't understand our past, you don't understand the present. Back in those days, school desegregation may have played some role in reducing the black-white test scores, according to Brookings.edu, because desegregation also seems, that it grew because affluent black families could afford to live in white neighborhoods to give their kids a better education. Why is that? Let's just keep it real. Growing up in Southeast DC, school funding, and I lived in the nation's capital, in a black neighborhood, in a black school, and the funding for books was not there. But I went over to the white school called Wilson High School. It's a public school, but in a white neighborhood. We on the 5th edition, they're on the 13th edition. Where they do that at? We're on the 5th edition. They're on the 13th edition of the same textbooks. Where do they do that at? I'll take a break just to thank my moderators, Miss Curly Girl and Learning Every Day. Thank you for all you do. I appreciate your help and assistance on this channel. But let's get into it, family, because there's a lot of racial disparities. Why you may think that black people in America are inferior to white people in America. So let me give you guys some just cause. Let's talk about the racial and ethnic disparities in our prison system. Blacks make up 13.4% of the population in America, but we represent over 50% of men incarcerated in prison. Let me say that again. Black Americans make up 13.4% of the population in America, and we represent over 50% of the people incarcerated in prison. Now let's flip the strip. White people, Anglo-Saxon European Americans, make up over 70% of the population and represent over 89% of people working in business. White people represent more than 70% of the population and make over 89% of the people working in corporate business, in the business sector of some sort. but we are inferior. This is what you think. See, I'm not talking to white people. I'm talking to black people because black people think black people are inferior because of the lack of opportunities and lack of resources. Because your daddy didn't get locked up and he could afford to keep you in school or move you to a middle class neighborhood where you had better access to education. But that is not the reality for most black people. Let me tell you why. And people love to use me as an excuse, so I use myself. I grew up without my mom. I had my mom in my life till I was around 12 years of age. Then she passed away because of lupus. Then I went to a group home, Boys and Girls Club of America, Greater America, Boys and Girls Club. I stayed in the group home for a couple of years, and then my aunt took me in. I stayed with my aunt around 2 years. We had a falling out. I went back to the group home right there in Washington, D.C. Already, I want you to think about what I didn't mention. Did I mention my father? Never met him. Till this day, never met my dad. So I didn't have a strong father figure growing up. It was just me and my mom. And when I was with me and my mom, we were homeless for about a couple of weeks, where half the time we lived on the street, other half the time we lived in a shelter. So guess what? Did I have a home? Did I have structure? Did I have balance? I had none of it. We were struggling. The only job that I can recall that my mom had was working for McDonald's. Let's fast forward. So my mom passed away. I moved into the group home where I'm in a house with a bunch of other kids, where we have counselors. Thank God the counselors were black. So I had some sort of role models that actually helped us out. But then from that point on, I moved in with my aunt. Well, we won't even tell you some of the atrocities that occurred inside that home. But let's just say I witnessed my uncle, one of my uncles getting shot. Another one of my uncles sold drugs, while the aunt that I was living with was cheating with the guy across the street and had a baby by him. So do you understand the structure of a black family, even leaving from a group home, living with my family? The reason why I'm using myself as an excuse, because I still turned out pretty good. But not everybody is mentally capable of going through the things that I've been through. Never meeting his dad, losing his mom at 12, seeing his uncle get shot, living in a house where they were selling drugs out of, where people came in and robbed us, and I had a 44 Magnum gun at my head. Not every black person can live through that and make it. That's why in the black community, we have a lot of mental issues that go unlooked, that are not being taken care of. Why they're not being taken care of? Because of the lack of resources and money that we have. Why is that? Because we're boxed out certain sectors. Why is it that black people only make up 1% of the IT field? Because if you talk to one of your white counterparts or one of your Asian counterparts and they really told you what they thought, they probably would say, you guys probably just not smart enough. Oh, we thought you guys liked to twerk. Oh, we thought all you guys just rap and dance and play sports. That's what we thought. Why aren't more black people in business? Why aren't more black people in finance? Why aren't more black people in IT? All of you guys got cell phones. All of you guys got laptops. You don't even know how the damn thing works. That's why we have our son in a school for coding. And guess what? When we punish him, when we restrict him, we sit him on a computer and that's all he do all day is code, vocabulary words and coding. There's a free website called code.org. But these are the discrimination and racist factual things that we don't consider when we're putting our other black brothers and sisters down. You in there, you're high-fiving your white zaddy, you're high-fiving your white mommies. Yeah, girl, I don't live around here no more. Shoot, them niggers, they'll pull you down. We look down on our own. And, I really started noticing this when I started making decent money and I could go to different places. And I really started talking to, high level executive black people where their heads are and where their minds are about how they think about other black people. And I'm like, hold up, wait a minute. Aren't you from LA? Wait a minute. Aren't you from Detroit? Wait a minute. Aren't you from Houston? Aren't you from Atlanta? Aren't you from Raleigh? Aren't you from DC, Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, Boston, Jersey? Aren't you from the ghetto? The same people you're talking about, and they hate it when I check them, especially women. Woo! Women. Well, I date anybody. It's just a matter of a man. Well, and really there's no really good black men out there anymore. You're one of the few. And so I get into history lessons. Why is that? Well, I made it so everybody can make it. No. If the playing field was level, ladies and gentlemen, then don't think for 1 second that there wouldn't be more prominent, high-level black people doing great in their families, in their environments, and also economically. The problem is we're so divided because of what has occurred to our people over the past 500 years. And even though we know this, we have the technology to reach out. We don't. We don't bring people in with us. We're so divided because the first thing we want to know is what? Women say what? Well, do you go to church? Huh? What? Can I get on church real quick? I really don't touch church because I know I'll lose a lot of members, but I'm going to do it today. I know I'm going to lose some of y'all today. Me being a foundational Black America, somebody said, do you believe in God? Yes, I believe in God, but we may have two different things about how we may have two different views of how we view God. Well, the God you serve, do you believe in the Holy Trinity? What's that? And I ask Black people this all the time. And I've had some really good discussions. And I tell people, first and foremost, let's just look at it this way. Let's take, for instance, we understand that majority of Black people are Christians. Majority of Black people are Christians. So let's just take away the Bible. Where's God? If you take away the Bible, where is God? Because if you've never read the Bible, if you never heard any of the Bible verses, Bible texts, where is God? Because I'm playing it up so you guys understand that this is a part of the inferiority complex that whites has given us over the course of all these generations and all these hundreds of years through Christianity. See, what we don't like to remember, Black folk in the church, Holy Ghost filled, on fire for God, sing in the praise worship team, part of the ministry. I'm a deaconess. I'm a deacon. I'm an usher. I'm a minister. I'm part of the children's choir. Well, the one thing that we don't like to notice is that Black people, African descended people, melanated people, did not get Christianity until they came to America in chains. Oh no. Oh no. You don't want to know that. You don't want to know that. And then we beat other Black people up when they don't believe the same thing we believe. So, hey, man, can we do business? I have a great business opportunity for you. It can make us $100,000. Oh, what church you go to? Excuse me? We're talking about business. We're talking about economic opportunities. Why are we talking about church? That's the difference between Black and white. Whites don't care you Christian, Muslim. We're talking about business. Is it on Black and white? But here's the problem. White people have manipulated our people for hundreds of years and it's still working today because now they don't really need to do it as much anymore because Black people are manipulating Black people by pushing a slave religion. Because when I was on a dating scene, one of the first questions that a young lady would ask me is, do you believe in God? Do you go to church? I say, well, I believe in God, but what God are you talking about? Oh, well, what you mean what God I'm talking about? I'm talking about Jesus Christ. Well, I believe there is a God. What that's supposed to mean? You don't believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for your salvation? Okay, where did you get that at? I got it from the Bible. Where did you get the Bible from? I got it from my mama. Where did your mama get it from? And where did their parents get it from? Oh, you mean to tell me the book that was shoved down our throats when our ancestors were in chains, being whipped, being raped, being dismembered, being burned? Is that the book you're talking about? And then they used to teach us their religion. We lost our native tongue. And we lost our native religions and they gave us theirs. And now we are to believe that that is the true God. Then somebody say, well, if you don't believe in that, what do you believe in? I believe there's a God. I believe there's a universal God that is all powerful and all knowing. Do I believe that he involves himself in human affairs? I don't. Well, I know he's real because X, Y, and Z. I said, okay, you know he's real. How? Because I just know I have faith. Okay, I have faith that my car is going to start, but I know my car is real because I can get inside of it. Why is it that an all-knowing, all-powerful, omnipotent God will not reveal himself to you or anybody else? I'm going too deep. I'm going too deep. I'm going to lose some people. I'm going to lose some viewers today, but that's okay. I want to free people. Not a religion. I want to free people of white supremacy. We'll always be living in a world of white supremacy, but I want you to stop being support of white supremacy by putting down your people, because this is what they give us. See, we don't understand, like Kendrick Taylor was talking about, the story of the last black cargo, mentioned they beat them until they accepted Christianity. And we don't understand the history of the Christians anyway. The Knight Templars, they used to go around to people who did not believe in Christ and burn and kill everybody in the village, which other villages say, hey man, you heard what happened to the other village? Shit, I'm a Christian now. Let's talk about it though. Let's talk about it, because I believe I could not have this discussion with you guys without talking about religion. Let me tell you why. Let's play with this notion really quickly. So God, as we know him, if most black people have been to church at least once. Most black people have been to church at least once. And myself, just to let the cat out the bag, I was an ordained minister for a while, so I know this as well. God is omnipotent, all powerful, all knowing, the first and the last. Right? Okay. Now that we got that established. So in the book of Genesis, we know the story of Adam and Eve. Right? We don't need to go into details how, Eve was made out, the rib of Adam, blah, blah, blah. We got that. But Adam and Eve lived in the Garden of Eden. And they had all the food, all the wants that they could ever need in order to survive. Adam and Eve. They were to start the population of the earth. During that time, Lucifer supposedly was jealous of God. So Christ cast him out of heaven. He fell to the earth. And then it says that the spirit of Lucifer entered a serpent. Now, let's just stop right there. Why did God allow the spirit of Lucifer to enter the serpent? All right, keep that question in mind. So God created this lavish garden of fruits, vegetables, and all these other things. So God told Adam and Eve, you can eat from every tree except that one. You guys hearing me? You can eat from every tree except that tree right there. Don't you touch that tree. God, don't you touch it. It's kind of like making 3 types of cookies. You make oatmeal cookies, oatmeal walnut cookies, and you make chocolate chip cookies. Now you want you some chocolate chip cookies. But your mom, your dad said, hey, I got cookies, but don't touch those chocolate chip cookies. They're warm, they're fresh, they smell good, but don't you touch them. Wait a minute, why did you make those cookies to set them on a counter and then tell me not to eat them, but you're not eating them either? Uh-oh. Did I say something right there? I can eat from every tree that you put in the Garden of Eden, but I can't eat of that tree right there. Why is that tree here then if I can't eat from it? Because I said so. Okay. So you allow Lucifer's spirit to enter the serpent to convince Eve to eat of the tree. If you eat that tree, Eve, you'll be just like God. Really? Yeah, you'll be powerful. You'll know everything. Well, let me go talk to Adam. Let me go talk to my husband. Because we know women, you guys got a smooth, slick way of convincing your husband to do things he don't really want to do. Come on, baby, please. Just this one time. Come on. Eve went over to Adam. Adam like, what's up? Eve was like, baby, I talked to this serpent, and the serpent said, hey, we eat from the tree, we be just like God. I was like, shut your mouth. She's like, no, really, we be just like God. So she convinced Adam, they go to the tree of good life and knowledge. I forgot the name, good in life, whatever. And then once they ate of the tree, it says in the book that they realized that they were naked. They didn't even have no clothes on. They realized that they were naked. Then God was looking for Adam and Eve on the earth. And he said, Adam, where are you? He said, God, I'm over here behind this bush. And God was like, why are you hiding behind the bush? And Adam said, because I am naked. How did you know that you were naked? Because I ate from that tree. That woman you gave me convinced me to eat of the tree. Whoa, let's back up. Let me break this down for you. First and foremost, as I started, God is omnipotent, all-powerful, all-knowing. Before you created Adam and Eve, didn't you know that this was already going to turn out the way it was going to turn out? Uh-oh. I said it. If you're all-knowing, all-powerful, and omnipotent, even before you created Adam and Eve, even before you created the earth, even before you created the Garden of Eden, you already knew that this was going to occur. So why did you allow it to happen? Why did you even go through with this? Is this a joke? Is this a movie? But see, this is the part where people don't read the Bible. They just go whatever the pastor said. Oh, read Job verse 12, 8 through 10. Chapter 8, verses 10 through 12. Read that. That's it. No, I've read the Bible at least 5 times back and front. And then it started not to make sense. It made sense, then it didn't make sense. Because a lot of Black people were under a trance that our parents and our pastors put us in, and this all derives from slavery. This is why we think white people are superior to us. And our other Black people who can get up in those higher echelons, they believe that we are inferior too. See, you don't really hear white people talking about religion too much. The only people you hear talk about religion a lot is poor white people and majority poor Black people. You don't really hear them talking about God because maybe they know. Maybe they know that Bible was created by the Council of Nicaea back in 325 AD for the system of control and power.
Yes,
This is a problem that we go through because we don't understand this book that was presented to our people hundreds of years ago under shackle, chains, and torture. Hopefully I'm freeing somebody today. I'm not trying to change your belief in Christianity. I'm not. But I want you to analyze it and examine it the way I have. Here's the thing. Here's another notion. Africans and being African-centered people, we're the first people of this earth. We're damn near created everything that you can think of. You don't think we had our own religions? And most of you don't understand the King James version of the Bible, that some people like, that's the first version of the Bible. That's not the first version of the Bible. There's other previous versions of the Bible. We don't even get to the Dead Sea Scrolls. But there was chaos on the earth. And this is the reason why the Bible was created. Now, granted, there are some really good things in the Bible. You know, thou shalt not kill. Okay, that stealing is wrong. It's not yours. Thou shalt not be sleeping with somebody else's wife. That's a good one. You might get your ass killed. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the Bible is evil. I am not saying that Christianity is evil. I am just saying it's not an original religion of African melanated people, and that it keeps us docile and nonviolent. See, regardless, ladies and gentlemen, of what you believe, they killed Dr. Martin Luther King, who was a Christian, who was a reverend, who served white Jesus. Still killed him. They still killed him. He was peaceful. He got beat up and thrown in jail. Didn't throw a punch. He believed in nonviolence. They still killed him. They still killed him. Are we not learning from history? Malcolm X. They still killed him. He was like, you put your hand on me, I'm gonna put my hand on you. They still killed our brother Malcolm X. But in the word of Malcolm X, by any means necessary, you need to get out of the mind frame that you are inferior. That is half our problem, I believe.
yes.
We rather fight ourselves than fight our oppression. I didn't say people. We rather fight ourselves than to fight our people. We'll fight amongst one another. We'll fight ourselves, but we won't fight the oppression that we're under. We won't fight that. We won't understand that people are talking on the internet, Twitter, that they're tired of the term white supremacy. Oh, I'm sorry. Does that bother you when you go and work around good white people? See, here's the thing. If you don't understand the environment that you live in, then you're not living at all. You're under some sort of delusion that you don't live in a system of oppression and white supremacy. See, the whole Black Lives Matter march and movements throughout the entire world versus what those white domestic terrorists did on the Capitol on the 6th should have shown most black people, hold up, wait a minute. They infiltrated and unlawfully entered the Capitol and only one of them got killed? Are you serious? We're living in two different types of America. But you need to stop thinking that white people are better than you. I advise some of you, if you're not going to read, at least watch videos that's going to help you understand your superiority. Now, I'm not going to say that black people are superior than white people. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying to oneself is understand that you are superior in the place that you are thinking versus the inferiority complex that you've already obtained. You get around white zaddy and white mommy, and you start bucking your eyes and clicking your heels and cutting the jig. Yes, sir. Yeah, be right on it, sir. This is not who we are, family. This is about black empowerment, black self-esteem. This is about knowing that you are equal to any other race on the planet, if not better. They try to annihilate us. They try to wipe black people from the face of the earth, and they are still baffled that we're still alive and kicking today. Like, you know what? We done did everything to these niggas, and they still around. Like, what do you mean? Well, we went to Africa. We colonized them. We kept them in their country. We colonized them. We made them believe in Christianity, all the African countries. We stole all their resources. So we made our European countries rich. We killed a lot of them. We broke their spirit. We took their religion. We took their society. We run their government. Then you say, you know what? We took a lot of them from Africa, put them in Brazil. We put them in the Caribbean. We put them in America. Then we put them in chains. We made them go on plantations in the hot heat. We gave them horrible food. We raped them. We try to have, we try to fuck the black out of them. We did all these horrible things to this race, and they're still here. You mean to tell me they got millionaires? You mean to tell me they even have a couple of billionaires? You mean to tell me that this race is still exists? Because my forefathers, we went over to the Tasmanian island and we killed an entire race of people. We wiped out all Tasmanian people. And people don't even think about the Tasmanians anymore. The only thing they can think about Tasmania is the Tasmanian devil. But Tasmania was a group of people. My forefathers wiped them out. Why is these black people so prominent? Why is they just still popping up? They're so damn resistant. And then these black Americans, these foundational black Americans, continue to fight oppression each and every day. See, my forefathers, we went out and we tried to enslave and capture the Native Americans. But these damn Native Americans, they fled and they killed themselves. But they knew the land. But when we brought these Africans over here, we had them enslaved for hundreds of years right here in America. We released them from slavery. And we say, go make for yourselves, niggas. And we're like, okay, cool. We made something out of nothing in Africa. Then they built up towns. They built up businesses. And then we went in and we destroyed that. We burnt their houses. We killed their people. We did it in 1919 with the Red Summer, with all the Black Wall Street. Then we did it again in 1921 with another Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Then we tried to do it again with the Highway Act. We were just running highways right through their houses. And these niggas still surviving. We hung them. We burned them. We made them fight each other. We gave them our religion. We took their houses. We gave them crack cocaine. We made them live in the worst possible conditions that we can imagine. And they're still here thriving. Now, granted, we messed up a lot of them. A lot of them have mental issues. A lot of them live in the hood. A lot of them still pushing drugs. But when I compare what my forefathers did to the Native Americans, how is it that we can convince the Native Americans to live on reservations, and there's really not that many of them left, and we're still killing off the Native Americans with alcoholism because we give them a check and we realize when you just give people money, you put them in a welfare state, they just get high. So we give Black people welfare. A lot of them got on drugs. A lot of them ain't doing nothing for themselves. They just sitting there watching soap operas all day. But they're not dying. But we are inferior. Last time I checked, you can get white from Black, but you can't get Black from white. What am I talking about? This is science. When it comes to genes, Black people are superior. When it comes to genes, white people are inferior. They have a recessive gene. They have no melanation. See, if two Black people get together, you can get two blue Black people together and they can make a white baby. It's called albinism. But two white people can't get together and make anything Black. And if you really look at the science of it all, there's some sort of recessive gene that they carry that's actually, when you're looking at the DNA and RNA of it all, it doesn't line up. Something is wrong. Something is misaligned. But, you know, we're inferior. Because that's what white and Black people tell Black people, in a sense. They don't probably say it outright, except the white supremacists. And ladies and gentlemen, just because your boss, your co-worker is white, and you guys shake hands all day, and she invited you over to her house, and you invited her to your house, or he, does not mean that they're not racist. Does not mean that they're in support of white supremacy. It does not mean that. Because here's the thing. We can learn things from our counterparts. Because not all white people are our enemy. I'm not saying that. But if I wanted to know more about my enemy or know more about the person that I'm battling, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to invite you over. I'm going to see where your head is at. I'm going to see where your mind is at. I'm going to get real comfortable. We're going to have some drinks. I'm going to have you open up, and I'm going to see how you really feel. Oh, that's where you at. Because here's the thing. Most battles are won when you know more about your enemy than your enemy knows about you. Here's another thing. The thing that most Black people are suffering from is psychological warfare. See, I can win the battle even before we get physical if I beat you psychologically. I learned a lot of this in the military. up there on the North Korean border where they used to spew propaganda over the speakers. Because if I can beat you psychologically, the physical battle is the easiest thing that I could ever do. That is why when I give you Christianity, when I give you Christianity and I punch you in your face and you like nonviolence, Jesus Christ was nonviolence, let me turn the other cheek so you can punch that too. Try me if you want to. Try me if you want to, but this is the problem. We see they attack us on all realms, on all sides of the spectrum. See, they keep us nonviolent with Christianity. And I'm not trying to beat up anybody's religion. I'm just saying, understand where you get your religion from and what is the purpose of your religion. See, you believe the purpose of your religion is to serve God, but the purpose of the religion that the white man gave you back in 325 AD, the Council of Nicaea, when they created the Holy Bible for King James to control the people and keep them docile, is to keep you nonviolent. It's for you to reverence a higher power and kneel, think about that, and kneel and submit yourself so you won't fight back. So you won't fight back. That is the issue. That is the issue. At this moment, take a quick break. I would like to thank my moderators, Miss Curly Girl, as well as Learning Every Day. Also, Learning Every Day, thank you for your donation, brother. I appreciate that. And J3, thank you for your donation as well for supporting the channel. I do appreciate your donations. This is the issue that we're falling into, ladies and gentlemen. We have so many things that attack us, and we also attack ourselves. Let me go back and hit on something really quickly. Let's talk about our brothers and sisters when it comes to relationships. Do some of you guys believe that we keep each other down in relationship? That we project things on one another? How many of you ladies, because it usually comes from the ladies, and I'm not trying to beat up my beautiful black sisters. I'm not trying to do that. It usually comes from the ladies. The ladies say, you got a job? That's offensive. Do you believe in Jesus? Well, ladies, when you're out there dating, which one of you actually say that? That's some of the first 5 or 10 questions. Do you have a job? What do you do? Do you believe in God? I wonder if a brother respond and say, well, no, sis, I don't believe in the Christian God that was given to our people through slavery. That would mess a lot of you up. That would mess a lot of you up. You're like, oh, whoa, wait a minute. So you don't believe in Jesus Christ? No, I don't believe in a religion that was given to our people while they were shackled and chained. Then we give our brothers a sense of inferiority because we would like to go date white men because white men are more established. How do they become that? I feel like black men might have been, I don't know, a little bit marginalized, a little bit disenfranchised, a little bit segregated and discriminated upon of getting certain jobs and positions. That's why a lot of black men don't make 6 figures. But we got bachelor's degrees and master's degrees. We can't even get a job interview because we got certain names. Oh, no. Tyrone, we know he's black. Daryl, we know he's black. We know he's black. Cameron with a K, we know he's black. Don't even come here with that. Do we do that, ladies and gentlemen? Do we do that to each other? And when it comes on the other side, on the flip side, brothers, do we ask our sisters off the first date, hey, are you one of those sassy, strong black women with a bad attitude who didn't have their daddy in the home? Do we do that to our beautiful Black sisters? I'm just asking a question. Because really, if brothers are asking, well, do you believe in Christ and da-da-da-da? Do you believe in Islam? Do you believe in Hindu and Buddhist and Baptist? Listen, none of these religions are from Africa. So it don't matter what religion really, but I'm banking on Christianity because that is the religion that most black people in America actually understand, actually have been to. But here's the thing, and this happens to men in particular, because I'm on men right now. We believe that our beautiful Black sisters are inferior because I see Black men dating everything and everybody. And I'm like, brother, you can do better than that. Now, my preference is Black. I'm not telling anybody not to date whatever they want to date. But you give yourself and you give your women, believe it or not, and Black sisters don't know. Just because he dated white women don't make me feel inferior. See, that's the problem. We don't understand psychology. Yeah, it does. You automatically think when you see your men dating white women, and a lot of these white women are fat, out of shape, and ugly with an in-shape brother, you're like, hold up. What the hell? So you start looking at yourself like, what's wrong with me? Now, some of you sisters, ain't nothing wrong with you. He just believes that white is right. He believes that if he can get a white wife, then he can fit in with white America. He just doing integration. Brother said, nah, man, I've been segregated to Black women. I'm trying to branch out. I need an Asian. I need a white chick. What she know about Black people? You know what? I'm not against interracial dating at all, but I don't understand it. I'll be real with you. My first semester in college, I dated a white girl for about 2 months. And I said, uh-oh, not me. I'm an inner city boy, born and raised in Washington, D.C. Only thing I ever dated was Black. Went to college, said, let me get a little vanilla. Let me test the waters here. Let me tell you something, man. This is just my personal accounts. White women do not understand your position. Black women do. Black women understand Black men. The only thing that you have in common with that white girl, that Asian girl, is sex. That's it. Sex. Food and sex. That's it. Food and sex. When you run out of that, you're going to see that you really don't have nothing in common. You grew up differently. You grew up in the hood. She grew up in a trailer park, or she grew up rich or in the suburbs. The way she looks at America is very different than the way you look at America. The pictures I showed you, remember I showed you them pictures of my house where I had those 3 pictures of Black guys either crying the red, white, and blue or behind a fence of red, white, and blue. She would find those probably offensive. Why do you believe that Black people are in prison in America? Why would you? Oh my God, you can be so... I met 2 Black girls in Washington, and they both had similar stories. So I went on a date with one, and I say, well, what happened in your last relationship? You know, sometimes you get a little bit personal, you know, some things you really shouldn't ask. But she was digging into my background, like, what happened to your last relationship? And she didn't like my answer. I said, what does it matter happened to my last relationship? She's like, because I want to know. I said, well, I can make myself feel like a saint and lie to you, or I can make her look like a saint. I can flip the narrative. That's the whole point I'm making. But nonetheless, I said, what happened to you and your ex? Because she had mixed kids, and she was from D.C. nonetheless. I was like, wow, you dated a white guy? So you came out here in Washington and lost it. Okay, never mind. So she's like, yeah, we had a big falling out, and, you know, when we had a falling out, He called me a nigger bitch and my half little nigger kids. I was like, wow. But I wasn't shocked. You know how you just say wow, but you're not shocked? You do it for them. You don't do it for you. But, and I'm not saying, again, I don't want to point out like every white person or racist or like every white man or white woman would do that when you had kids with them. You know what I'm saying? But he left her with the kids. But that was the first time. A second time, you know, this other black chick dated this white guy. Again, they broke up. And he left a bucket of white powder on her porch with it literally. And she called him and said, "Hey, what's going on? What's this white powder?" He says, "To whiten you up a little bit because your nigga ass too black." He said something like that. Some, really racist, really terrible, But this is some of the things that we go through. Even when we date outside our race, when it's a bad breakup, you start hearing other people call you your names. What they really think of you. See, what black people don't understand, even though they may find us inferior, guess what also they find us? Very, very curious. They're very curious of black people, right? They're very curious. White women want to touch black people's hair. Shaniqua, girl, don't touch my hair. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you go around touching white people's hair? Exactly. Family, that is a problem that we run into. I remember in the military, I've had a bald head for a very, very long time. And I remember a white guy was telling me prior to that touching a black guy's head, rubbing a black guy's head is good luck. That's what I was told. That's what I was told. So a couple years after I was actually told that, a white guy came up to me, knew me for about a hot 2 or 3 seconds, and rubbed my head like it was a crystal ball. Well, we was in the military, so I had to keep calm, had to stay disciplined. I pushed the shit out of him. That's what I did. I ain't keep no calm.
It was the white militia.
Trying to find this quick video for you guys so I can show you what I'm talking about. Family, this is the problem that we go through. And we really don't understand these things because we're not being aware that we're not inferior to anybody. Now, I've been reading some of your guys' notes. I think I'm going to go over some of you guys' notes. I can't find the video clip. that I wanted to show you. But during that whole storming the Capitol, the infiltration of the Capitol, there was a white woman who touched a black girl's face. And that black girl, I'm from DC, and the black woman in DC ain't no punks, let me tell you. She hit that white woman square in her nose. I don't condone violence, but I do condone self-defense. Holler at your boy. Okay? Let me see if I can find this. I'm looking at Tariq Nasheed's page now. You guys are going to have to see through the lines here. Let me get this popping really quickly. Let me show you this. You guys may not be able to see it. Let me see if I can turn this off. Give me 1 second. Let me turn this off. Okay, I can't really show it But that's the white lady who's bloody. Let me see if I can move the page, Annie. Let me see here. Let me see if I can move this around. Let me show it right here. Can I move this around? Give me 1 second, family. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to move this around. Give me 1 second. I don't know where this went at. Let me try to find this video for you. Ain't that like a good old bloody nose? Oh, it keeps going into, I can't move it around. Let me see. Let me see. I'm gonna pop this up for you. Give me 1 second, family. Give me 1 second. I gotta go to YouTube. Now, some of the people that I listen to is Philip Scott, TD Hip Hop Media, The Black Authority, Professor Black Truth, and Tariq Nasheed and Dr. Boyce Watkins. Okay, but let me try to minimize my page so I can show this to you guys. I got this filter up here that won't allow me to really show through it. Okay, I got an overlay on. I'm trying to show her getting punched in the face for touching this this black girl. Let's see. Let me put it right here. There we go. All right, let's see it right here, family. Let me speed through this. A couple of seconds here. Here we go. Now you see, boom, she touched her face. Bow. Can anyone see that? Can anyone see that? I'm sharing my screen here. You see her bloody. That's actually touched. That's after she touched the black girl's face. Now, let me play some sound. Give me 1 second and play some sound. This is from Tariq Nasheed. I'm not trying to slave off his, but he got the information.
So the white supremacists tried to jump on this sister, so she threw some hands. Let me find the video. And from what I understand, the sister got, they fired her from her job, from what I understand. Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Here it is right here. Okay, here it is right here. Yeah, one of these Karens kind of touched this sister in the face, and this sister gave her a nice, good old left. Hold on. Okay, right here. Hold on.
No, why is she bleeding? Who hit you?
That girl punched me in the
Who
face.
hit you?
That black girl.
Move to the side, move to the side.
What?
Pepper spray?
A copper.
Come on, patience, stand up. Can't let this happen. Come on, patience, where you at? Kind of touched this sister in the face, and this sister gave her a nice, good old left. Hold on. Okay, right here. Hold on.
No, why is she bleeding? Who hit you?
That girl punched me in the
Who
face.
hit you?
That black girl.
Move to the side, move to the side.
What?
Pepper spray?
A copper.
Come on, patience, stand up. Can't let this happen. Come on, patience, where you at?
Who hit you? BLM?
Yes.
BLM hit you?
Yes.
And they did nothing or what?
Oh, of course they did nothing.
Oh my God.
They protected her.
Oh, no, they didn't. Come on, patience. Kind of touched this sister in the face, and this sister kind of touched
Who hit you? BLM?
Yes.
BLM hit you?
Yes.
And they did nothing or what?
Oh, of course they did nothing.
Oh my God.
They protected her.
Oh, no, they didn't. But they go into victim mode so quick. Nobody protected that sister. Nobody protected that sister. From what I understand, they charged.
Exactly, family. That's what I'm talking about. If you think that you are inferior to a people who treasonous acts infiltrated the U.S. Capitol, peed, hung from banisters, took dumps in the hallways, and then made sure they stepped in the doo-doo and tracked it all over the Capitol. Then guess who came and cleaned it up? Black people. Those are people who work in the Capitol. Black and brown people. That's who cleaned it up. But I really need us to stop thinking that we are inferior. We are equally intelligent. We're more resilient. I can definitely say that we are superior in our resilience. But we got to have self-esteem, self-determination. We have to have Black empowerment between our own people. We have to unite. We have to think the best of our people, even in some of the shady circumstances. Yes, a lot of us are not doing the right thing. A lot of us are not thinking the right way. But we have had help. We have had support in a negative connotation in the way that we think about ourselves and our people. We are a people that do not know and understand our own history and what we come from. Now, I'm not just talking about African history, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about Black American history. If you guys go watch one of my videos, I let people know about all the Black inventors, all the Black doctors like Vivian Thomas, who cured the blue baby syndrome, Dr. Charles Drew, who did the blood transfusion. That's just to name a few. We got to have self-pride. This is not so much about you understanding racism in America, but this is mostly have to do with the thought and the imagery of you have of yourself of being inferior and that you should match up with white people. No. This is why people like Dr. Claude Anderson preach and teach about power Black economics. Well, I hope that you guys take everything I say and just have some, thoughts about it. Really define yourself to see if you fall into that category of you being inferior. Because some of you may, I never felt inferior. I always felt this way. Maybe, maybe not. But there, believe it or not, there is a lot of us that believe that we are inferior. It may not be in your front conscious, but it may be in your subconscious. We believe that we have to talk like them. We have to dress like them. We have to be like them. And last but not least, clothes. When people tell me that they do not have a white inferiority complex, that they don't believe white people are better than them, the first thing I look at is what they dress themselves in. I'm not saying you're going to be wearing African dashikis and all of that. No. But when you label yourself with loud clothing of Europeans, European Americans, European Italians, European French, whatever, and you pout and you tout that because you would like to show your wealth on your body, it lets me know who exactly you want to be like. It tells me who exactly what you want to be like. Because there's a lot of Black clothes makers. But oh no, that's not popular. That's not Gucci. That's not Fendi. That's not Prada. And my favorite, that's not Balenciaga. That's not those Yeezys. Oh, Yeezys made by a Black man. No. They were designed by a Black man. Marketed by a Black man. But let's see who get that white money. You get what I'm saying? See, when we talk about business, when we talk about clothing, Some of you say, well, I buy Jordans and that's supporting a black business. You're supporting more white people than you can ever imagine. Oh, man. Because my question to people is, who manufactures Jordans? Who actually in the manufacturing shop, the sewing machines, the computers, the software that design them, who is designing Jordans? Jordan is not designing Jordans. Let's just keep it 100. Jordan is not designing Jordans. He is getting paid because of his name. First, it was with Nike. Nike got designers. Nike got manufacturing. You guys is wearing a black man's name on your shoes that black man was getting rich and all you guys are getting poor wearing $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $1,000 a shoe. Until this day, you're still supporting a non-black business just with a black name. One day we're not going to be so easily fooled. I hope, I pray, I wish. Just because you put a black face in a white place, we are easily manipulated. We are easily coerced. We are easily tricked. We're easily, in the words of Malcolm X, bamboozled to thinking that this is either a black thing or this is black success. And it's neither one. And it's neither one. It's kind of like Jay-Z with Douce, alcohol. Kind of like with Puffy with Ciroc. He didn't create them. He's just the face of it. He know black people going to drink it. He's getting paid off of it. None of these are black. Rick Ross was built with Bel Air. Come on, or Rose, Bel Air, Rose. Hey, I'm just a guy on the internet giving you guys some good content for you to think about. That's all I am. But family, that's my time for today. I want everybody to know, be one, black first, to all my foundational black Americans and those in support of us. You guys have a great and wonderful day and be blessed. I'm out.